Welcome to Your Imagination, the nation in which you imagine and encounter thoughts. The country is your mind, with a population of 1, and you have unlimited capacity to customize it to your desire. So, what thoughts are you going to think? Welcome back to the Precious Pavilion. I am Precious, and this is an international community of people who, led by me, talk about art, faith, and lifestyle, and are committed to living fulfilled and focused lives while enjoying the process. And of course, that cannot be achieved without having the right mindset. So today, I'm talking about thinking, because it's a daily activity and something that requires thought. So, what is mindset? Basically, mindset, kind of like how you can adjust the settings on your phone, is the way in which we have set our minds. But mindsets can be chosen or borrowed. So we have to ask ourselves, the mindset that we are operating out of, living our lives with, whose are they, and are they even effective? As I said in this channel, I talk about art, faith, and lifestyle, so let's do the Bible verse of the day. Today's passage is Romans chapter 12, verse 2, which says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." Now, I'm a believer, I'm a follower of Jesus, so the Bible is my main source of reference and guidance because the Holy Spirit speaks through his people, through his word. And as that verse just told us, we are not to be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewal of our minds. And you've probably heard the saying, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And that's true, because as humans, we have a wonderful resource that is our minds. We can think creatively, and it is with this resource that we are able to really shape our lives to our desire, and more importantly, to be in alignment with what God has determined, destined, and written for us. Because our minds are our responsibility to cultivate and our privilege to nurture. This is what this video is all about. As that verse told us, we are to be transformed by the renewal of our minds, which shows that this is an ongoing process, a daily practice that we are to take up, renewing our minds, ensuring that the input that we are putting into our minds will ensure and produce good output, because it is from our thoughts that we get our actions, that we get our habits, and ultimately our lifestyle. In short, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, if our minds are the playing field of our lives, we ought to think to win. And that requires intention, focus, and recognizing that while not every thought that comes into our minds is ours, we get to choose what thoughts we have on replay in our minds. Kind of like a radio station. They have so many songs that they could select from, but what song will they play? And because it's our minds, we can be the DJs, we can be the person setting certain thoughts on repeat. When thoughts come into our minds, we can repeat, highlight, or reject outright. And that is what renewing our minds look like. And as believers, that purpose for renewing our minds is so that by testing, as the verse told us, we can determine God's will, good, acceptable, perfect. I'm on God's perfect will, so I invite you, as a reminder through this video, to recognize the importance of your mindset and choose to set your mind accordingly, because it is by our thinking first, intentionally, that tangible transformation in our lives can occur. It's from our minds first that we live, really, before the fruit of our thoughts plays out in the physical realm before our eyes. So if you look around and you assess your life and you realize, I don't really like it, or I'm not feeling content, then assess your thoughts. What are the thoughts that you have, that you entertain, that you put on replay in your mind? For example, let's say your relationships are not going the way you'd like them to. Assess your self-concept. How do you think of yourself? How do you see yourself? Because if you entertain the thought or subscribe to the way of thinking that everybody hates you, that you are not good at making connections with people, then you will be defensive in interactions with people before you even have a reason to defend yourself, or you will not show up fully and as authentically to interactions and to relationships, halting and hindering genuine connection from the start. Of course, it's easier said than done, but that is why, as I said before, the input that we put into our minds makes a world of difference. So as a believer, being in the Bible is so important. Regularly meditating upon the word, because it even tells us to think on these things, and then provides like a categorical list of the types of things that we can focus our minds on, so that we get good fruit as far as how our lives end up looking. So yeah, thinking to win is the strategy to take, because it is choosing between contentment and frustration, or comparison and focusing more on yourself in a holistic, healthy way that really will shape the trajectory of your life genuinely. So thinking is a great resource that we have, and one that we shouldn't take for granted. We can set our minds accordingly for success, for victory in life, and for contentment, so that we genuinely enjoy these lives that we are living, because we have a lot of agency, and like I said, it's a responsibility, but also a privilege to nurture our minds. So if this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments by saying, typing below, I choose better thinking. I'll see you there. And to that effect, I will be putting out affirmation videos, so let me know any types of topics you would want affirmation videos on, and if you would prefer like shorts or long form. I'm going to start with shorts for now, and I look forward to seeing the fruit of all of us here choosing better thinking, because you'll know you are by the fruits in your life, because it all starts with our thinking. So receive this. I hope this is an encouragement and a blessing to you. And as always, I am precious, so are you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay blessed. Bye.